Good morning, everybody. It is April 27th. It's 8 in the morning Eastern time, and right now we're taking a quick look at VeChain. The day looks good so far. The whole cryptocurrency market's basically up. We got a lot to talk about, but specifically for VeChain, it's finally making that movement upward. So in this video, we're going to discuss some important price targets that we need to keep an eye out for, a couple of price targets that we need to as well be careful of if VeChain fails to maintain during this uptrend that we're having today. So right now, before we even start, overall Bitcoin is obviously trying to push above key levels again. We're trying to push above the 55 EMA. We're having a bit of difficulty, but at least we're above it right now. We still have 11 hours, 12 hours for the day to finish. So we need to see how this closes. So everything we talk about today will be pending conditionally what Bitcoin eventually does for the day, where it closes and how it closes. And if we see some sort of rejection over here, I think that's going to reflect on all the other altcoins and the whole crypto market basically. So everything in this video will be pending that, but Bitcoin is uptrending, so now we're trying to see where VeChain is going to sit. Overall, today VeChain opened at the 18 cents, 18.8 cents, and we had a high almost at the 22.6 cents here. As we can see, we're seeing some sort of retracement right now. For the most part, VeChain, if you've been watching the channel, you saw we've been talking about VeChain all along this time period over here. VeChain's been stuck in this macro, I would say, wedge. You won't see it really on the daily, but maybe if you go to the 4-hour, you'll see what I'm talking about. Yeah, but it was something like this over here. We know where buyers were coming in more aggressively, and sellers as well were coming in more aggressively, creating this sideways wedge. And usually if we're uptrending into this wedge, we expect a breakout out of it and an uptrend right after. That's from a technical analysis standpoint. All the traders would be looking at that. But overall, whatever happened with Bitcoin, we started dropping, and that definitely catalyzed movement upward. And VeChain got all the way down to the 14 cents. And within that as well, you can still see very long wicks to the bottom. So we came all the way down here, but still within the same 4 hours actually pushed back up. So as we were moving downwards, there was a lot of buyers that were accumulating VeChain as basically the whole market was panicking. There was a lot of fear. So this is on the daily. So VeChain did fail. It failed to hold this support where we expect buyers to come in. We dropped all the way down. Very nice daily candle still, and we started moving sideways a bit. A lot of volume, and you can see how we've been consolidating since April 17th, going sideways, failing to close above the 24-cent region, but consistently poking above. So it was kind of forecasting that, hey, you know what, we are pushing upwards, but there's still some sellers that we need to get out of the way, because a lot of people actually jumped on VeChain from way back. So VeChain was moving slow, relatively slow, and people were holding VeChain ever since the below the cent region, and now look at us right now, we're at the 21 cents. So it's pretty crazy. And the more we move upwards like that, the more we need to expect major pullbacks, and not everyone's going to stay in this for the longest time. If we're looking at here, people, if we're going from here all the way to the top, we're looking at 2,400%. And yeah, I'm pretty sure I'll take a bit of that profit regardless. But I think right now with the crypto market kind of consolidating and retracing back up a bit, seeing some healthy signs, I think VeChain is getting ready for another push upwards. So then again, that's based on what Bitcoin does, definitely, which I know we all basically hate. But overall, this is on the daily. On higher time frames, we're looking at the volume being very low, indicating that there was less and less interest in the current trend, and the current trend was a consolidation and downward movement. So it's telling you that a lot of volume over here, a lot more than average on the day of Bitcoin falling, and then as we move forward, the volume was consistently going down, telling us that, hey, there's less sellers basically as we move forward here. It did get sold off. We had VeChain actually drop. If we're looking maybe all the way here, is almost a 50% movement downwards. So something to keep in mind. But anyways, less and less interest in the current trend. Does look like sellers are out of the market right now. We're seeing a bunch of buyers actually try to step in. So now where are we gonna go to? We're definitely seeing some sort of retracement right now. We're sitting at the 21 cent. So we just want to see what VeChain wants to do now. So this is on the higher time frames. And overall, you'll see that the stochastic was all the way in the bottom as we move sideways, and the RSI, which is the relative strength index, still has time to go down a bit, right? But since we're in a bullish market and everything is expected to go up, basically, it's oftentimes you don't really see the RSI continuously going down on the daily here, because buyers are impatient and they've been jumping on that train. So, and we all know VeChain is mainly a very, very slow mover. So RSI going all the way down to the oversold region would be kind of not that typical in this kind of market. But this is what we're seeing on those higher time frames. We have some important levels here that I have highlighted. We can see the 22.7 cents is where we expect to see a retracement. This is the VPVR. It's telling us it's plotting basically the price action across the trading activity, across different price levels, as opposed to this volume over here telling you that, hey, during this candlestick, during this daily candlestick, we had this amount of volume going. This one's more likely, this is more just plotting the different volume and trading activity across these different price levels. So if we see a peak somewhere here, it tells us that there was a battle between buyers and sellers, and we will be very reactive to that price action, regardless of us being extremely bullish or extremely bearish. So as we were moving downward here, you can tell on the VPVR that obviously buyers were going to start jumping somewhere here. They're going to start jumping somewhere also as well at this side, and that will also as well become some sort of resistance if we're going into those zones. So right now, VeChain actually passed through the hard part. We found that support at the 16 cents, 16.5 cent. Then again, we passed through this guy over here at the 18.3 cents, and we are continuing to move upwards. The 8 EMA over on this side was consistently driving us down for I would say 4 or 5 days, and today we actually broke above it. So we need to see how VeChain actually closes there. But that's mainly on the daily chart. On the 12-hour chart, you'll see a bit more of a clear price action. You can see how the volume has been and below the average volume for a while now. This was pretty telling. This candle was pretty telling. A lot more volume overall, way above the average. And as VeChain's been, VeChain's been really doing good, and now you're seeing it drop back down to the 13 cent. A lot of people added more to their holdings, and I'm pretty sure that pretty well just within that day. If we're looking, it dropped from the 20 cent all the way to the 13 cent and right back up, and whoever actually got on that's literally 48% profits within that one day. So it's telling you a lot about the strength and about the fact that buyers are actually lurking in the back, waiting for a nice VeChain price to actually continue to accumulate. Overall, we did find the support at the 55 EMA here, and you can see all the way down as we were moving downwards this whole time. The MACD was in the negative, so there's more selling power, and as soon as we start getting more to those support zones, we start seeing the MACD start to actually tick up. And we tried to actually break above the 8 EMA a couple of days ago here. You can see how we were very active to it, and as soon as we got to this 55 EMA, we saw this support zone, we saw a indecisive candle. Basically, the body was very narrow, wick to the upside and the downside, indicating that the market was not decisive on VeChain's price action. And usually when we see a candle like this after a uptrend or a downtrend, we would basically forecast a reversal coming up soon. And as soon as we go down below like this, we see the indecisive candle, a nice bullish candle right above the resistance that's been driving us down, and then again a decisive candle, and then boom, we're just shooting right back up. So today looks very good for VeChain. Stochastic RSI was all the way in the bottom, and the RSI itself actually broke out of this downward movement basically. So it's pretty good. 4-hour chart, maybe if we go even a bit down further here, 55 EMA as well. You know, we broke below it. We tried to come back to retest it, got squeezed again. 100 EMA again, tried to hug it, resisted it a bit, and now we got squeezed for a bit within this range between the 18.3 cent and the 16.5 cent. And as soon as VeChain actually broke above this range over here, we saw buyers step back in. So what I think is going to happen is that VeChain wants to retrace back down somewhere to the 8 EMA again. So if we zoom back in, you'll see how reactive we are to it, and you know, maybe we'll just show all the EMAs as well here, just so for you to get some sort of idea. Overall, I can see VeChain trying to drop back down somewhere here close to the 20 cent just to retest it. If you watch the channel, you can always tell basically every time that we break out, we always talk about some sort of retracement back, because what happens is it's been these lines, or the support zone or resistance zone, has been acting as a support or resistance, and as soon as we break above it, we need to come back to retest it to now validate that this is a more of a solidified resistance, so solidified support that was previously a resistance. So now we're back here. We're seeing that retracement happen. I think it's okay for VeChain to retrace back somewhere to the 20.6 all the way down to the 20 cents to retest that. And I think that's when we'll see more and more buys actually start to accumulate. And we know for a fact now the VPVR, if you see here, there's a lot of trading activity in this zone. So we need to keep that in mind, that VeChain will definitely have a lot of reaction happen somewhere within this zone, which is actually pretty a lot. If we're looking here, what's the range we're looking at? Yeah, somewhere close to 7%. So within this zone over here, we're going to see a lot of volatility. Keep that in mind. Obviously, whatever goes on with VeChain will affect these prices, but this is what we're forecasting for from a, you know, logically speaking, we're seeing that happen right now. This is the VPVR telling you that, look, every time we reach this area, there's a lot of things that happen, it being positive or negative for VeChain, and that's what we need to basically forecast. So yeah, I'm losing my breath here. Holy 4 hour, this is what's going on. So yeah, on a short time frame, you know, if you're a long-term holder for VeChain, this should not matter for you. Overall, we think it's going to do good. But, you know, for the traders or for the people looking for some sort of a better price entry for VeChain, I think you need to wait a bit, maybe till the 20 cent for a retest, and then add more. If VeChain doesn't really hold these prices and VeChain comes back down towards the 100, towards the 55 EMA here, and closes below the 20 cent region, then, you know, I would reconsider the SOAR analysis and see if VeChain is actually meant to come back up to these levels, or we need to wait for a bit for VeChain to find that support again. So this is for on the 4 hour. Overall, we're bullish on VeChain. I think the price target right now that we need to keep in mind is the 24 cent. Any break above this 24 cent, I think, is gonna catalyze VeChain to go literally straight above to the 36. And the reason why I say it's the 36 is because overall this was the set price for VeChain as we move downwards, as we move upwards. So sorry. So when we're stuck in this horizontal wedge, symmetrical wedge, overall we were expecting a breakout above this to continue to move upwards. And usually you would take the base of this triangle. So you would take the base of this over here and forecast it where we presume that the breakout will happen, somewhere along the apex over here, where the buyers and the sellers will have to fight it out, and then a nice movement upwards towards the 36, and that's where the profit taking zone would be for all the traders. Again, if you're a long-term holder, this is a lot of noise. You shouldn't really care about this. But if you're a trader and you're trying to trade VeChain, or you're trying to expect when's the next price target, then definitely this is, as soon as we break above this, VeChain is going to go up, just retest those levels for a bit, maybe stay in, and then go back up to these levels over here. So something to keep in mind. Again, whatever happens with VeChain dictates the whole market. If if Bitcoin dictates the whole market, if Bitcoin decides to start dumping and doesn't hold above this zone over here, then that's not gonna be, you know, that's not really gonna allow VeChain to move properly according to these technicals. So something to keep in mind. Always do your own research. We put out those videos for you, hoping that you would actually do your own research. We just bring this to your attention, and we would love for you to actually, you know, call us out, see whatever if you agree or disagree with our analysis. Overall, we always need to keep an eye out on the market. It's a volatile, crazy market, and you should always work on your risk management. If don't just put all your money at once, always dollar cost average, and understand, look, if I'm entering somewhere here and I'm adding whatever, amount of money I'm in, always look for, hey, look, if it starts to fall below here, I'm out. I don't want to take more than, let's say, 5, 10, 20, 30% retracement or a loss in terms of my holdings. So, something to keep in mind, because volatility is crazy. It's so high. But then again, you can manage it, right? So you can always manage it. There's a lot of resources out there about risk management. And, if you want us to talk more about risk management when it comes to, this volatile market, let us know in the comments. We'll definitely have something, maybe talk about it for a bit, just to show you how we usually do it in terms of even if we're looking at a long-term holding, right? So you don't have to really take major losses every single time. So that's it, pretty much it for me. I'm actually losing breath as I'm doing this. I'm not sure why. So thank you for watching. If you like the video, please like, comment, share, subscribe. And yeah, if you agree or disagree with my analysis, please leave it in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. Have a great day and stay tuned for the other videos that we're going to put out today.